Hello, welcome back. Last time I finished the Islands of Ash, and if everything goes really well, this could be the end of the demo today, because there are, 4 levels left? Maybe a little more than that. But sometimes they're pretty quick. Later usage. Okay, there's a lot of stuff in here. So, 5 sigils. Have to hit them all. One good Earth Stomp could hit 3 at once, so that's fairly appealing. Once I go down from here or here, I'm not getting back up without a power. So, just because it feels like the obvious thing to do, which is usually the wrong one. Can I make this jump? No. Alright, I think I could... No, I don't have enough wind to get all the way there to activate the thing while duplicating Earth. Alright, so here I'm forced to waste a water. Here I'm forced to waste a wind. That looks like a place I could tuck myself to see something, but not quite. Okay, so I get an extra wind here, and no way to climb up, but other than that, that's not super far from working. Why are there 2 winds at the end state? I guess one is meant to get me from here to over there. Okay, so that means I'm going to have a power-up that lets me jump over this. Is there something to do with this water other than... Okay, so for one thing, I cannot get back up there with 1 water. But I wasted a water. I think I want to duplicate the Earth? Which I can just do. By doing things in this order. Wind, water, water, then I have a wasted water again. Do I know that's a problem? No, isn't this fine? Yeah, this is... not quite. The wind's in the wrong order. I needed to leave that Earth there. If I could just swap, I could have it done, but I can't. No, I can't leave that Earth there. I can't access it like that unless I also leave a water? Ah, okay. I see something. Well, but that doesn't make any sense. That's the only wind, and I needed to get across the thing. And I have nothing here. How can it make sense for there to be 2 wind at the sun fragment? Well, okay, it could make sense if what I was doing was... oh boy. Something like this? I mean, this is definitely wrong. I have a lot of problems here. But the idea was going to be to do something shaped more like that. Leave that water so I can pick it up at the very last second with my final wind. Use it to get up, then wind there to get back. I think that's the idea. This cannot do anything useful other than that as far... that's not really true. So say I would do that. And take Earth. Wind, another wind, and a water. I have a problem activating the sigil. Only wind gets me through that spiky gap. Maybe I leave that water for now. Yeah, that actually makes sense. Okay, so I take earth, wind, and water. How high does this water take me? Not high enough, but this activates that sigil. I take this water to activate this sigil, and now I think everything works out. So the earth gets all these three, and the water that I left behind will get me up to use the final wind. Okay, cool. Sun fragment collected. 8S! Oh boy. Okay, so that one was not signaled to me. Oh, I can't get there until I have a 40. I see, that's at that gates. It's not putting it in that tiny little space. It's just to be able to platform up there. Okay, so the other 30 here. The shaft. That's a shaft, all right. Water up there to hit the sigil, sure, I understand. So far, none of the wall signs have lied to me in any way as far as I remember. Maybe in some of the secret levels. But they've been pretty trustworthy. Like, I don't remember seeing a water up arrow sign and having to specifically ignore it. Whoops, not what I meant to do. So if I did that, but also had wind on me. Just kind of want to explore the space of the level without thinking too hard about it yet. That means I end up here with not any wind to do anything, and I'm also going to need all three of those earths to get back, which is fine if I leave them where they are. So if I could simply teleport that wind to me, I would be done. Which makes it weird there's a duplicator. Okay, so what did I do? I took water, wind, earth, use the earth here, wind to cross that, water to get up here, water to get up here. Any of those earths on the left could be replaced by a water. However, that doesn't make any sense. So, like, if I'm coming through here, I can just boom, 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 and then I'm at the exit, no problem. So I don't need anything coming back once I'm across the spikes below me. I have not found a use for the duplicator yet. That's too many wind. Well, it's not too many wind, but water's on the wrong side of it. Yeah, water's just in the... Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Okay, here's a place where I can actually break a puzzle with that behavior. Okay, so proven that it is actually an issue. However, I don't accept that solution. But alright, there is a place where it can actually be done. Okay. Assuming that's not the official answer, which it absolutely should not be. At least I assume it shouldn't be. That just would not fit any of what I've seen here. I need to get one of these winds left of the water, which is impossible. So since I can't do that... yeah, I don't know what that means. So if I take things in this order and just completely ignore the duplicator, remind me what happens? The duplicator looks like an extra thing, and if I could transport that wind to me or have picked it up first, I would be done. So I'm supposed to be using one more power for some reason. What could one more power ever do for me? Well, I guess I could... I don't see how this could benefit me in any way, but... I could do things in this order? And then, this will not work. Especially since I can't go through the 3-door. I was imagining hitting that from, oops. From another end, but no. Like, there's no reason I would not be doing a big earth stomp there and activating both at once. Unless I really, really had to not use I guess, okay. So this would be possible. I think I can make some sense of that, actually. Yeah, can't I do that? Okay, so 2 waters, since the duplicator was useless. 2 waters take the place of that earth use, and I get a wind to the left of it. Okay, I think this does it, right? No. Well, then wouldn't I just duplicate the earth? Well, no. Because I need the... Okay, hang on. Doesn't work because the wind's in the wrong place. Alright, well if I just waste that, and waste this, where does it put me? I just want a wind left of everything else. If I go all the way down here, I can't come back from that. If I just use this water on that, that's useless because it doesn't activate both. So I might as well just not even use it at all. Well, but the problem is, if I'm using it... Oh, right, okay, so what I need... is more like... Well, it's like this, but I need 2 waters split apart, or 2 earths or waters split apart with a wind in the middle. And that's impossible because of how the duplicator is. Yeah, so I need to end up in the lower right with wind on the left, water or earth on the right. Can't have water right of wind. That's strictly impossible with this layout. So there is absolutely no way you could ever have water right of wind. Therefore, I'm picking that up first, and it's replacing one of the... What does this water even do? But if I get earth left of wind... Oh, I see something. Okay, this is pretty funny. Check it out. So water can activate that. Then I take wind to put it left of earth. I take earth, I take wind, I duplicate the wind. Watch this. Oh, this is good. Ah. There we go. So it is separate sigil activation. Water, earth does just as well as water there. And I have my wind, and there's my exit. Okay, I made sense of it. That was cool. Okay, so now I am at 40. And all of the hard things will be open. So now this is not the one that threatens me like the other one does. Before I go in there, I actually want to go to the void and look around. And also, another thing. Okay, sure, I'll look around to the void. But there is another thing I want to do. Ah, I see. Okay, so actually declaring what is end of demo. So I could see that now. I have earned the end of the demo. Hardest execution is reportedly here. Past a 40, way over there. That's out of reach, right? I'm pretty sure, yeah. Yeah, water just doesn't go quite that high. It's kind of close, but not quite. Alright, so 7S reportedly is hardest execution. There's an 8S over in the caves, and then a demo final. Well, let's first go to 8S. And cave outskirts. Let's see what this is like. So I just did later usage. Okay, so I'll see usage of the useless, huh? Alright. Okay, so difference I spot here is a lot of the tools are up at the top rather than down at the bottom. And that's a duplicator instead of an earth on this shelf. Okay, yeah, so just everything is rearranged here. Still 5 sigils to hit, still gotta basically do the same action at the end, sorta. Sign says. Okay. Sign says, expect this to be hard, and not just for routing. Alright. So... second hardest execution, reportedly. I have one idea. See, like, I can do that. That might be the hard execution it's talking about. Not that hard, though. Going here first does me no good. Going here first gets me stuck. Alright, let's just focus on getting across that initial gap first. Trivial. All that's required for that is this. So I would like to have had Earth at that point. So let's say I would do... oh, I can't. Is there a way I can have that Earth? Yes. No. Not quite. No. Okay, so, yeah, next thing is to focus on getting... oh, there's water, water, and wind in there. What? I guess the 2 waters are... 2 waters? No, what are 2 waters for over there? That's weird. Way over on the right side. It looks to me like I can use at most 1 on the... no, that's not true. 2 waters. Water, water. Or if you wish, water, water. Okay. So that gives me a hint about how I'm using resources earlier here. I'm picking up everything, because just taking water, water, wind at the end gets me all the way back. Okay, so once the 5 gate is opened, the puzzle is over. There is no challenge beyond that. It's all in the first half. So get across the gap with the earth. Sure. What is this? Usage of the useless or something like that? Yep. Music stops completely on the pause menu. It might be nice if it would just, like, duck a little bit and keep going. Okay. So, what do I want to try to do? Alright, so I have a reasonably clear state at the end of this. It needs to be wind on the right, earth on the left. Pretty sure there's no wiggle room on that. So 2 gate opened, wind on the right, earth on the left. I get 5 things to make that happen with the available traversal. Wind on the right, earth on the left. So something like... Hold on, before I do that, let's just burn this here. I got this extra water I kind of almost want to ignore. Isn't this okay? Not quite, no. Well, okay, so there's an extra water. Wind on the right, earth on the left. So the opposite of the natural order, I collect those. The natural order cannot be changed, therefore I must collect this earth before that wind. Okay, so here's an idea. What if I duplicate this wind and use it to do that action? Cool idea doesn't really help. Or does it? Sure does. And here's the execution difficulty. There we go. There we go. There we go. Alright, so I'd keyed into the exact trick, just didn't quite see how to apply it ahead of time. There we go! Alright. Wind here, water, water, and done. Great. Alright, well, let's dare to try hardest execution. Maybe I can just get it done, no problem. So that's going to be in a place that's not easy to get to. Maybe the quickest would be Islands of Ash, and then walk to this. No, that's no closer, really, than just going the direct way. It's fine. Tucked away all the way over here. So if that was hard execution, hardest execution might not be so bad. Reckless squeeze. So I don't feel the need to compare this to its previous version, because I can just treat this as a new puzzle. Okay, so if I just take the direct route, what stops me from things just working out? Got me a sun fragment, cool. Pick up, pick up, pick up. Waste. Okay, so what's wrong here... Oh. What's wrong here is, well, for one thing I have, Okay, so I have an interesting ordering problem. I'd like to leave those 2 waters alone, probably. Surely it's not... Once again, I have to assume this is not meant to happen this way. But I do want to see if this is a way to break this puzzle. It's a little hard to do in this spot, especially because of, like, how squeezy that is. I'm reasonably convinced this is possible, though. I just have to do like a 1-frame input. I don't know if even that is likely to work. But yeah, I can stand here. Anyway, let's not try solutions that involve that. Do I need to... And yeah, that jump's not gonna happen. I do have a variable jump height. Let's try this one more time, just again. Not that I want the solution to be this, but I want to see if it can. I don't want to be right against it. I need to, like, approach from a little distance. Or is this one positioned such that I can't do it? Like those spikes actually come all the way to the edge. Maybe it is. Because yeah, I'm not getting it here. Do I gotta, like, bump into a wall to change my subpixel position or something? I don't think that's what it is. Okay, well I'm not having any success here in this spot, so maybe that one is properly forbidden. Okay, well, that's fine. So, right. To be a little more sensible about this... Oops. So I'm going to have wind at the bottom, and I would like to ideally... hold on. Yeah, so just do that with wind at the very bottom. So that wind there needs to be preserved. So tell me what specifically is wrong with doing things this way? Oh, actually, I might see the reckless squeeze. Hold up. Let's try something a little different. So I wasted a duplicator there, yes. Is that what I gotta do? And that would be a hard execution. Can I do the bad thing? I can do the bad thing, but it doesn't help me, actually. Not really proving that this is possible. Whoa, but I'm landing there, which I really feel like I should not be. I don't know, so I both died and did not make it to the thing there. If this is supposed to be hardest execution, I feel like I should be trying such things as this. But I also don't think that's ever gonna work. Yeah, no, I think that's just not within range. Okay. So yeah, no real choice about that as far as I can tell. If I don't take those two waters, do I gotta, like, pick up one of them? Well, now, hold on a second. Got a weird idea. This doesn't make sense, right? Right? Yeah, I'm not going to get high enough with just one water. I do need two. Can I end up with two up there somehow? I also wonder if I had just a whole bunch of wind. If I had just a whole bunch of wind. Well, I need some water too. But I do have a whole bunch of wind. So that's interesting. Another idea. So that's totally one that I can do. Is this called Reckless Squeeze? I think that's the idea. Something like it, but not exactly like... Well, no. Or do it at the end with a whole bunch of water? No. Getting that wind now doesn't seem beneficial, but yeah, I don't know. I'm seeing a path... I'm seeing a path that doesn't involve going all the way on the left. But I'm not seeing the ingredients that would be useful for such a thing. I don't know, let's try this. I have a whole lot of wind and some water. but it's not in the right order. So I do need a wind left of a water at the very end. Like that water is now a waste. Is it actually... No. Well, I guess... Okay. No, hold on. Why is that water a waste? Well, because if I grab that now, then I don't get... Wind. Too much wind. And then water, and I just can't use. So hardest execution, but I don't see the idea yet. I want to take a moment and take inventory here. Rather than push through and try to get this all the way done. There's how many left in the hub? In fact, let's actually go in there. So from out here I can look at what it says. The void, sorry. So 2 suns in the void. 1 red and distant shore. And that's it. Those 3 are the last ones left. Well, I think that's still how I want to split this up. That's fine. Alright, so I've looked at hardest execution. I don't understand it yet, and I'd like to give it another day. Because yeah, I'm not having an execution problem yet, I just don't know what I'm meant to be executing there. But okay, so next time probably finishing Reckless Squeeze somehow, then seeing the last 2. There's a little line that shows up above this. Slight graphical issue with like adjacent things in a texture atlas being drawn at the top side of this. Yeah, so this game is not using strict pixel grid snapping. Issues like that might go away if it did, and it'd also look a little nicer without the pixels just not quite aligning. Like you can see the thin little bits against the character sprite versus the thing behind her. It's a personal preference thing, but I do like it better the other way around. Anyway, so next time I'm going to try and finish this up, and then we will see the end of the demo.